Moot morning, moot morning, moot morning, moot morning.
Well, we're here again for another webisode of Moot Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And of course, through these little web affairs that we're having, we are talking about things that I hope will be interesting to the rising 2Ls that may be on the fence or may be really excited about trying out for the Moot Court team. And this morning, we are joined by one of my former Mooters, Bianca Frisaura. Bianca?
Hello, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. And of course, we also have our assistant coach, Natsumi Covey. Ms. Covey, it's great to see you again.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. But Bianca, let's talk about Moot Court. First of all, you graduated, what year was it now?
2015.
Okay, so you were in the program for 2 years, graduated in 2015. You've been a lawyer now for 5 years.
That's correct.
When you look back on Moot Court and actually the decision to even try out for the team, what motivated you to do that in the first place?
Well, I think it was a couple of things. I definitely wanted to have a good resume builder. I wanted to be competitive when I got into the job market, but I also wanted to be comfortable. And I knew that Moot Court, after going through like kind of the 1L mandatory Moot Court, definitely exposed you to high stress kind of situations where you had to have a nice presentation, be able to roll with the punches, be able to answer questions. And so I really was interested in tweaking my presentation and my advocacy because one, yes, I wanted to get a good job. Two, I was planning on going into litigation. And three, I wanted to do something fun. And I knew that St. Mary's had a great advocacy program and it helps you stand out. And so I wanted to go and win some trophies. So those are kind of my motivations.
And in fact, you did that, did you not?
I did with some great coaching and some really awesome partners. I was able to secure a national championship, a runner-up, which I'm still sore about, and a state championship.
Yeah, you had a really good run, actually. And congratulations on the success you had in the program. What was that like, working with other students, having your teammates? Did you form any friendships, any networking based on just the work that you did through Moot Court?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Moot Court team becomes a family and you just get so close with everyone. Stephanie was a really good friend of mine all throughout that and afterward. I still talk to Steven, who I have to give a lot of credit because I think he really pulled the team most of the time. So thank you, Steven. I also
y'all were a great team. Y'all were a great team.
Yeah, I appreciate it. He was awesome to work with, and it's really fun. It doesn't feel like work when you're on the team because everyone's kind of got the same goals, and it's more of like it's exciting instead of work. So I really enjoyed that part and how we were all so interested in finding out the obscure case law that's gonna win it for us tomorrow, or just getting better all together. So it was a group effort. I do have to make one little shout out to Philip Ripper, who was not on my team, but is now doing plaintiff's work. And so that's been a fun experience as well, because we got to do it a little bit in the fake world and now we're doing it in the real world. So it's not unlike the real world. You're gonna form relationships and get close to the people, on the same side of the bar as well as opposing counsel. And it really exposes you to that and how to practice law with other people. And, it's lifelong friends that you learn or that you make in Moot Court.
And Bianca, you talked about a resume builder. How important was Moot Court when you were out there looking for jobs and trying to find employment? Was that something that was helpful to you?
Absolutely. So right out of law school, I got hired into a position that I was not qualified for, and I'll admit that right off the bat. They wanted someone that had 3 years of litigation experience. And when I had my interview with the managing attorney, he was also my regional director in the San Antonio office, I I told him, I said, look, like, I can go and argue and do motion practice and I can get in front of a jury because I've had a lot of training. And so he kind of challenged me on some of the rules of, evidence and some of the things that I had researched, and I was able to answer him. And so I guess that's the translation. It's not as fake as you think it is. A lot of these skills that you learn through researching and through presentation, I use every single day in motion practice as a litigator. And juries are less scary than some of the judges you get in front of. And so to me, I mean, it's like I don't know, it was something I could brag about to the director that, hey, I haven't done it in real life, but I've had a lot of training. So give me a chance on it. And, he told me later that was one of the biggest reasons he had hired me on without the experience.
And now you've actually had a successful career over 5 years in the same place, right?
Yeah, yes, I have. I started in the San Antonio office, and then I transferred up to our Austin office. And I actually am also on a corporate project now. It's not well known, but there's these things called green belts and black belts within a company. And since I work for Geico, which is a $1 billion company, they actually started taking me on for those projects. And I'm now I mentor other lawyers, but I'm also training for a new case handling system. I actually trained today, for example. So it's given me the opportunity to get my foot in the door, and now it's expanded beyond just litigation.
Wow, that's great for a 5-year lawyer to be. I mean, it sounds
Thank
like
you.
you have a lot of responsibility already. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And I guess, you talk about litigation, and certainly, I don't know if you recall this, but one of the questions that I get pretty much every year is this idea that I would love to do moot court, but I want to be a litigator. I want to be out there as a trial attorney. And so, moot court is really just for those appellate lawyers and those folks. So maybe I'll do something else. What do you have to say to someone that kind of has that type of mindset?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, and I've heard it, and I heard it when I was in law school, but I disagree with it just because trial is the last thing you're doing. You have to work up a file. You got to get good hearings on your summary judgments, on your motions to compel. And then you've got your motions in limine, which is all about how your trial is going to go, right? What evidence is the jury even going to hear about? Yeah. And if you can't present an oral argument, if you're not good at, that advocacy to the judge, you're never even going to make it to the jury. And so I think that what moot court provides is that initial step, all of that stuff that builds up the case so that you can get it perfect in front of a jury. And then when you're in front of a jury, it's like a walk in the park, because you get to be more informal, you get to talk to them. And so you still have all the skills that you've learned, the advocacy that you've gained through moot court is going to translate into trial work all day. But then on top of that, you're getting this unique experience of motion practice. And again, I think that makes or breaks your case. You never know what you're going to do with a jury, even more so if you can't get your evidence in. So to me, it's been the most applicable learning experience that I've had when I was in law school. So.
Now, Sammy, do you have any questions for Bianca?
I do, actually. Did you do anything outside of moot court while you were in law school?
I did. I was the president of WLA, which it's one of the largest organizations on campus. So there's a lot of time commitment with that. And you also have to, you're a liaison with Bexar County Women's Bar. And then I was also on the Board of Advocates. I was an officer my senior year, so I was on that, which was great because it helps all the advocacy. I ended up writing our prompt for one of our competitions my 3L year. And so I think those were the two major things I did. And I actually also took the bar while I was on the team. So I took enough credits to sit for the bar for February, and I did an independent study with Ricky. And what essentially I did was I took the bar in February and then competed in TILA that summer. And so Ricky was an easy teacher. He went light on the first 2 months, but then we did the independent study, and I was able to get that extra credit, and not so easy after that. But no, I'm just kidding. He was very understanding. But yeah, so I was on WLA, Board of Advocates, and then I took the bar.
Because I think that time commitment question comes up a lot, and I just feel like moot court, Ricky makes it so you can do all these things. And a lot of it is this like independent time that you
Oh
put
yeah,
into it, right?
absolutely. And like I said, like, you know, you're going to have practices and you're going to want to go to them. They're fun. It's great watching yourself like improve every single day for an actual, like, I don't know, an applicable skill that you're learning. And that's something that, you know, law school is great. And there's a lot of awesome things about like learning things in theory, but you're actually applying them in moot court. And legal research, for example, I mean, you know, 1L year legal research and writing probably went over my head, but I learned how to do legal research in moot court and I use it every day in my practice. And so it doesn't feel like work. And it really, the time commitment isn't more than, you know, a class, like taking one class. So it's totally doable. And if I had to pick out of all the things I said I did, and I love WA, so don't do that because I love WA. But if I really had one choice, I would do moot court because it's applicable every single day in what I do.
Bianca, what would you say to that student out there, that 2L or rising 2L, that is thinking, I don't know, you know, tryouts are next week. I'd have to go back over my 1L argument. I'd have to get ready for this interview. What do you say to that 2L?
You totally do it. You're going to regret not doing it. It's worth trying out. It's worth the experience. And like I said, the education and the practice and the advocacy is invaluable. I mean, St. Mary's is like the top advocacy program in the country. And honestly, St. Mary's isn't a ranked school. I mean, we've definitely given run for our money, and we're in Texas especially. It's such a competitive state. And when you're trying to go anywhere with your law degree, you really want to be as competitive as you can. And, you know, like I said, you know, St. Mary's isn't ranked really, really high. And now I've got a job in Austin. I got a job in Austin up against UT, which is a very good school, because I was on the moot court team and got my foot in the door. And so, you know, that would be my recommendation is don't cut yourself short. It's a great experience. And like I said, it's a resume builder, but it's also family. You're going to love it. And I'm here right now, 5 years later, doing this because that's how much I really, really loved it. And I would do it all over again. And, you know, in fact, sometimes I even miss it. Hate to admit that because of Ricky. No, don't use that against me later, Ricky, but I really miss it.
Well, I really appreciate you being here 5 years later. And I appreciate the fact that, you know, we continue to keep in touch from time to time. And it's good to know what's going on in your life and how things have really progressed for you. Congratulations on all of the success that you've had, not only in moot court, but also now that you're out in the real world and you're practicing law, the profession you're going to be practicing and be very successful at for a long time. So thank you for being here, and moot morning.
Moot morning.
Good morning.
Thanks, Bianca.
Thank you,
Bianca.
guys.